Sorry, I didn't see you there. I was too busy reading my brand new book, Study Abroad, Where and How. #1 New York Times bestseller. I'm critically acclaimed author, Mason Schmitt. You might have heard me from my other 2 books. #travel, ! In college, here's why. Or, education around the world. For today's program, we're going to be talking about a very important topic, studying abroad in college. It just so happens that I have some great friends that are just experts on the topic itself. So, sit back, relax, grab a slice of coffee cake or a donut, and enjoy this week's episode of Sunday Gossip with your host, me, Mason Schmitt. Now, before we jump into our guest, I would like to take a moment to mention my new book, Study Abroad, Where and How. Now, in the book, I mention how study abroad programs should be taken advantage of. Due to the minuscule difference in class content, it ethically refines moral character, and it offers a variety of cultural experiences building upon one's education unlike any other. Now, our first guest here today is Kelly Grade from Bentley University. She has majored in information design and corporate communication. She has also studied abroad in countless locations, including Germany. Please welcome Kelly Grade.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Students interested in studying abroad are curious on how the programs differ from at a college in the States. In your experience, what was the major difference in class setting and knowledge gained?
Well, my first time studying abroad, I studied in a small town named Mannheim in the country of Germany. I found that even with a different environment, the classroom atmosphere was still very similar as if you would go to any college here in the States. I absorbed a lot of information and of course still had a very heavy workload. Some differences I noticed were not with the content learned in the class itself, but with just how the class was operated. For example, you would register for classes during school and there was no set class that was mandatory. Also, a big change was the schedule. Throughout all my travels, colleges abroad have been on a lottery schedule, meaning class was held whenever the professor would want. There was no set schedule for any class. Sometimes, just 30 minutes before a class, my professor would email me, telling me that there would be a class that day. Overall, I learned just as much information as I would have learned in any other class here at a university in America. The content is the same, just the atmosphere is different.
Our next guest is Alan E. Goodman from the New York Times and the president of Institute of International Education. Hi, Al. I just have one question for you. How do the experiences of studying abroad help one become a well-rounded individual?
Well, thank you so much for having me. Studying abroad teaches students to appreciate difference and diversity firsthand and enables them to recognize and then dismiss stereotypes they may have held about people they have never met. Learning how to interact with people from other countries and cultures equips future leaders in all sectors to address urgent issues across shared borders. It is an integrated part of the curriculum, incorporating proper cross-culture preparation and supportive reintegration to help students understand and internalize what they learn.
Please welcome American student from the University of Nebraska-Kinnery, who spent an entire year studying in Japan, Michael Gade. Hi, Michael. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here today. What are your thoughts on college students temporarily traveling abroad for education?
You're welcome, and thank you for having me. Students should have the right to study abroad. However, the influence of traveling abroad can have harmful side effects. After returning home from Japan, I began to feel cultural shock in my own country. I was shocked by things I once considered normal, like serving sizes. Not to mention mental health can also be affected by the traveling abroad. Another topic that I cannot stress enough is post-study abroad depression. For example, post-cultural depression is a common side effect. I felt discouraged to come home and continue my normal life after spending the year in Japan. Altogether, studying abroad is a great experience, but can take a toll on one's mental state.
Now introducing student at Southern Illinois University at Edwardsville and staff writer in honorsociety.org, Claire Zell.
Wow, it's such an honor to be sitting here with you today. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
You're welcome, Claire. Always happy to get some new faces around here. What are your thoughts on students not studying abroad due to cultural shock and post-abroad depression? Should that prevent students from studying abroad?
No, Mason, it definitely should not prevent one from studying abroad. The most important part of studying abroad is where you decide to go. One that is interested in studying in a foreign country should take into consideration program length, housing options, and picking the right location. If you're worried about staying too far from home for too long, consider a program that is shorter in length. The duration of the program could also decrease the possibility of any harmful side effects that studying abroad may endure. When staying in a foreign country and going to a foreign university, you might be housing with local families instead of actually in a dorm complex, like classic schools in America. Getting used to the lifestyle can take some time, but it can also take a while to break that habit. If you wish to be exposed to the culture and the place that you are studying, then housing with a family is a great idea and a great opportunity. However, when going back to your country of origin, the adjustment may just cause cultural shock. Therefore, if cultural shock is a worry, attend a foreign university that offers a dorm complex in order to help alleviate the impact of cultural shock. On top of all that, choose a location of interest, but that is not 100% mainstream. What many students overlook is the places that you might never get the chance to visit unless you study there. So choose a location that will benefit your intellectual growth. All in all, the benefits of studying in a foreign country outweigh the possible risks.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Sunday Gossip. And don't forget that it's our social responsibility to encourage the broadening of cultural and intellectual knowledge through studying abroad to redefine the morals of society. I'm your host, Mason Schmitt, and have a blessed rest of your Sunday.